Welcome, friends. Today, we travel back over 2,000 years to the golden sands of Egypt to explore the life of one of the most powerful, intelligent, and mysterious women in history, Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. This is a real story, full of politics, power, love, and tragedy. So get comfortable, and let's begin our journey through time. Cleopatra VII Philippa was born in 69 BCE in the grand Egyptian city of Alexandria. She belonged to the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek royal family that had ruled Egypt since the time of Alexander the Great. Even though they ruled an Egyptian land, the Ptolemies spoke Greek and kept their Greek traditions alive. From a young age, Cleopatra stood out. Unlike most of her royal family, she learned the Egyptian language and embraced Egyptian culture. She could speak at least 7 languages fluently and was highly educated in philosophy, science, mathematics, and politics. She wasn't just beautiful, she was brilliant. People around her noticed her charm, intelligence, and presence. She had something that made people listen when she spoke. Cleopatra wasn't just a princess. She was a leader in the making. Cleopatra's father, Ptolemy XII, ruled Egypt during a time of trouble. He was weak and depended on the power of Rome to stay on the throne. When he died in 51 BCE, he left the throne to Cleopatra and her younger brother Ptolemy XIII. According to tradition, Cleopatra had to marry her brother and rule with him. She was just 18 years old. But trouble began quickly. Cleopatra was strong and wanted to rule on her own, while her advisors and Ptolemy XIII supporters tried to push her out. A power struggle began. Cleopatra was forced to flee Egypt, but she didn't give up. She went to Syria and began to raise an army. She was determined to take back her throne. Around this time, Julius Caesar, the famous Roman general, came to Egypt. He was chasing his rival, Pompey, who had been killed on Ptolemy XII's orders. Cleopatra saw an opportunity. She knew Caesar was powerful. She knew he could help her regain the throne. So, in one of the most legendary moments in history, Cleopatra arranged a secret meeting. According to legend, she had herself rolled into a carpet and delivered to Caesar's chambers. When the carpet was unrolled, Cleopatra appeared before him, graceful, bold, and full of confidence. Caesar was impressed. Cleopatra knew exactly what to say and how to present herself. She convinced him to support her claim to the throne. Soon, Caesar and Cleopatra defeated Ptolemy XII's forces. The young king drowned in the Nile while trying to escape. Cleopatra was restored as queen, now ruling alongside another younger brother, but she was truly in charge. Cleopatra and Caesar became lovers. Their relationship was more than just romance, it was a political alliance. Cleopatra wanted Egypt to stay independent, and Caesar needed her support in the east. In 47 BCE, Cleopatra gave birth to a son named Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. She claimed that he was Caesar's child. Caesar never officially acknowledged Caesarion, but Cleopatra hoped he would someday become a powerful ruler. Cleopatra visited Rome and stayed in Caesar's villa outside the city. She shocked many Romans with her presence. A foreign queen, dressed in Egyptian clothing, living like royalty in their capital, it made many people angry. But everything changed in 44 BCE. Julius Caesar was assassinated by Roman senators who feared he was becoming too powerful. Cleopatra was forced to return to Egypt, heartbroken and uncertain about the future. After Caesar's death, Rome fell into chaos. Two leaders rose to the top: Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir, and Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal friend and general. Mark Antony needed Cleopatra's support for his campaign in the east. So he invited her to meet him in Tarsus. Cleopatra made her entrance unforgettable. She arrived on a grand ship, dressed as the goddess Isis, with music, perfume, and luxury surrounding her. Antony was completely enchanted. They soon became lovers, and Cleopatra returned with Antony to Alexandria. They spent the next several years together, living in luxury and having 3 children, twins and another son. They even declared that Caesarion was the true son of Caesar and ruler of Rome, which angered Octavian in Rome. Octavian used Cleopatra's influence over Antony to turn Rome against them. He told the Roman people that Antony had become a slave to a foreign queen and betrayed Roman values. In 31 BCE, war broke out. Octavian's forces faced Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium, a naval battle in the Ionian Sea. Antony and Cleopatra lost. Their ships were scattered, and their forces were defeated. They returned to Egypt, knowing their time was running out. Octavian soon invaded Egypt. In 30 BCE, as his army approached Alexandria, Antony received false news that Cleopatra had died. Devastated, he fell on his sword. But Cleopatra was still alive. She had hidden herself in her mausoleum. When she heard of Antony's death, she was broken. Octavian captured her, but she refused to be paraded through Rome as a prisoner. On August 12, 30 BCE, Cleopatra died. The true details are unknown, but the most famous story is that she allowed a venomous asp, a small snake, to bite her. Others believe she took poison. She was just 39 years old. Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty. Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. Her son Caesarion was captured and killed by Octavian's orders. Her other children were taken to Rome and raised there. Octavian later became Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. Cleopatra's life was full of drama, but she was more than just a romantic figure. She was a skilled leader, a powerful negotiator, and a symbol of independence. She ruled during a time when women had little power, yet she stood toe-to-toe with the greatest men of her time, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. People remember her beauty, but her intelligence and courage were even greater. She tried to protect her people and preserve her kingdom in a world dominated by Rome. Even today, Cleopatra remains a symbol of strength, charm, and determination. Her story continues to inspire books, films, and imaginations across the world. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the life of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more powerful tales from history in simple English for your practice, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and never stop exploring the past.